Hey there, it's Angela here. How are you going? It's Motivation Monday, so I thought what I'd do is I'd pop into the group and I'd make a quick video to give you a bit of motivation to get you going for the week. Now, I do plan to actually be doing a few more videos within the group, so at this stage it's Mondays, roughly about this time I'll be in, and Wednesday I'm going to be coming in and talking to you a little bit more about health and well-being. So look out, we'll be around about this time both days, between 10 and 10:30 I'll be online here. I've got my dog, he's chewing my hand at the moment. I'm trying to get him to stop doing that because I'm talking to you, I'm not paying attention to him and he doesn't like it. So what I thought I'd talk about today, Motivation Monday. Someone asked a question within the group the other day. It's like, how do you keep motivated? How do you keep going? Because sometimes it can all seem too much. We can get overwhelmed because we've got to-do lists. If they're anything like mine, they've got like 20 things on them, and you have so much that you have to do that you basically do nothing. And to be honest, that's exactly where I've been for the last couple of weeks. It's like I'm just procrastinating. I'm just not doing anything because there's just so much to do. And so what I needed to do was actually get right back to basics and kind of take a big deep breath, take a little bit of time out to get reconnected back to what it is that I was trying to achieve. I had to reconnect back to what my vision was. And once I reconnected back to my vision and what it is that the difference I want to make in the world and what I'm trying to create with my business and with my life, then I actually got a bit of motivation going. But what I'm going to share with you today, I'm going to share 3 things with you that hopefully will help you get things done, or GSD. I'm in a program called KPI. We call GSD, get shit done, get stuff done. But when you're feeling a little demotivated, I'm going to give you a couple of tips that will probably help you hopefully get through the hump and get you back into it. But before you can do anything, you have to have a big picture why. You have to have something you're trying to achieve. You've got to be working towards something, whether or not it's a big vision, or if it's just with the, you're talking about your monthly goals, and they don't have to be business goals, they could be personal goals. You have to be working towards something, because if you're not working towards anything, you're not moving anywhere. So you do have to have something that you're working towards. So three things that you can do. Number 1 is planning. Planning always helps. And whether or not you do this the night before or first thing in the morning, is you sit down and you look at what are the top 3 to 5 things, no more than 5, ideally about 3 things that you need to get done today that will move you towards your big picture. As I said, whether or not it's your monthly goal, your 90-day goal, your vision, whatever it is, what are the 3 things you can do today, not the 20 things on your to-do list. It's like, go and look at the to-do list and say, well, what are the 3 most important things that I could do today that will make a difference? So have them at the top, write them down so that you know that's what you're going to get done. From there, look at those 3 things and say, of those things, what's the most important? Because generally, the thing that's the most important is quite often the thing that you put off. It's the thing you procrastinate against. And Brian Tracy talks about eating the frog. Well, actually, Brian Tracy talks about it, but it comes from Mark Twain. And Mark Twain wrote in one of his books, if you eat a frog first thing in the morning, everything else you do after that's always going to be better. So, and Brian Tracy talks about eating the frog. So that means doing the thing that's the hardest but most important first. Get it out of the way, because once you've done that, everything else is going to be easy. So eat the frog. So we're going to plan, we're going to eat the frog, and then I would highly suggest most people tend to be more creative in the morning. So if you've got creative work to do, whether or not that's creating content, writing programs, or anything like that, do that in the morning. And then schedule all your calls. And if you're like me and you coach and you work with other people, or if you're doing podcast interviews, do that work in the afternoon, because most people's energy is higher in the morning, so they tend to be more creative. But then after lunch, many people hit a bit of a slump. And if in the afternoon you can schedule work with other people the two of you will bring the energy up. So you know you have to show up. I know that if I've got a call with a client, I've got to show up. I've got to be there. So if I do that in the afternoon, that's going to give me the energy to keep moving, because I need the energy to actually work with clients. So whereas if I just had to write a blog post in the afternoon, a lot of the times I wouldn't do it. So that's my 3 tips of what you can do to get motivated. Now, I've got something for you to do. What I want you to do is to share in the post underneath this video, what are the 3 things that you're going to get done this week? Now, I'm going to share my 3 things with you as well right now. Number 1, I've got to get a newsletter out. So the newsletter's got to go out today. And any of you who are not on my newsletter, then pop over to my website, www.angelacounsel, ANGELACOUNSEL.com. Make sure you're on the newsletter, because I'm actually going to write a bit of a blog, a bit of an article about what my big vision is. So that's got to be done first thing this morning. That's the next thing I'm going to do as soon as I get off this video. Number 2 after that is I have to follow up with some phone calls and some emails for the Entrepreneurs Playdate. So I've got to finalize all the numbers for that. And if you want to know all about that, once again, pop over to my website. If you're planning on joining me, you need to get in quickly, because I've got to close the ticket sales down shortly, because I've got to organize lunch and the activities. So I've got to follow up everyone who said they were going to go and make sure they buy their tickets. And the third thing that I've got to get done this week, I'm looking at an online program that I'm converting for my business mastermind from the natural therapists. I'm actually creating an online program for them. So I'm actually going to sit down and start planning some of that out. So they're the 3 things I'm going to get done this week. Now, there's lots of other things that have to get done, but they're the 3 things I'm committing to get done this week, and I'm telling you guys about it so you can hold me accountable. So if you want to be held accountable, pop that into the post underneath this this video. I'll hold you accountable. I'll come back next Monday and you can let me know whether or not you do it. We'll start again and we'll do another 3 things that have to get done. But as I said, if you get stuck and you're getting demotivated, just go back to basics. Plan 3 things to get done. Do the toughest thing first. Have the big vision and just get it done. But sometimes the most important thing you can do is just to take a day off or take a few hours off, just to get away from everything. And it's what we call you disconnect to reconnect. And sometimes that's the best thing you can possibly do. So from my heart to yours, infinite love and gratitude. The dog's finally stopped chewing my hand. The whole time through this, he's been chewing my hand. He's stopped now. And I'll be back on Wednesday. And if you've got any questions about health, well-being that you want to ask me, please ask them within the group and I will get them answered for you. And I've actually got a bit of a surprise coming up about the my podcast and how you can be involved in the podcast, because I'm changing it around a little bit. So I'll share that in the group later on in the week. So bye for now. See you later. Bye.